Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in Just Flight's Piper Tomahawk. We have an 88 nautical mile flight from Sierra Echo Golf, Penn Valley, to November 30 Cherry Ridge. We'll be flying with live weather and time, and today is a very windy day to fly, so it should be challenging. We're also flying with SayIntentions.ai and using their AI Copilot and Rex Atmos to give us some eye candy for our visuals. Should be an awesome flight, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Alright, we're parked here on the ramp at Penn Valley, and we'll start by closing our door, latching it. We'll get our little storm window open up here, head overhead to the door latch, make sure those are engaged. We're going to release the parking brake, and we've already requested a pushback from the ground fellow up here. So we're going to get ourselves a little bit of room here by pushing back. Let's look behind us. We've got the FBO just behind us. We'll come to a stop. Parking brake is set once again. Now we'll pull out our checklist, one of the great things about the Piper Tomahawk by Just Flight. You can see that the circuit breakers are all in. We'll check that our carb heat is off. It is. We'll get our fuel selector to the left fuel tank. The latch is engaged. Next, we'll prime it 1, 2, 3 strokes of the primer. We'll leave it out on the final stroke. Next, we'll crack the throttle. We'll get the battery and the master on. Next, we will get the fuel pump on. Fuel pump's on. Bring the mixture up to full rich. Looks good. Check that the prop area is clear. Clear prop. Feet on the brakes. And we've got a good start. RPM's at 1,000. You can see that we do have oil pressure. We can turn the fuel pump off. Get the primer in and locked. And next we'll lean the mixture for ground operations. There we go. Close the window and we'll get the ATIS.
Penn Valley Airport, Automated Surface Observation. 1353 Zulu. Wind 320 at 9er. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, clear. Temperature 18. Dew point 9er. Altimeter 3003.
I'll open up ForeFlight and take you through the flight brief. So we're departing from Penn Valley, which is an untowered field right along the Susquehanna River. We're flying to November 30 Cherry Ridge, which is an untowered field northeast of Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International. We have 2 VORs we'll be using for navigation. One is LVZ on 111.6, just south of AVP. The other is Sealings Grove 110.4, just south of Penn Valley. You can see we've got some air mets going on for low-level wind shear and turbulence, so it's probably going to be a bumpy ride. To our north, we have mountain obscuration and turbulence. There's a bunch of PIREPs around us, but those are actually reporting smooth air, which is good, although that's further south of us. So based on the weather outlook, I think it's still going to be pretty windy and pretty bumpy. You can see the windsock right in front of us, showing a fair amount of wind. If we look at the weather for Penn Valley, we could see it's gusting at 9 to 14 with winds from the north, and it continues to be windy throughout the day. If we head over to AVP, which is the nearest weather to November 30, it's gusting 11 to 20 knots. In real life, I rescheduled my check ride today due to the winds. If you pull up the Windy app and zoom in on my home field of Whiskey Bravo Whiskey, you can see it's a direct crosswind gusting over 20 knots. If you zoom out, you can see the storm system off the east coast, which is pulling all of that wind and creating the gusting winds this weekend. Penn Valley traffic, Piper 2432 Golf, taxis from the ramp to runway 17, Penn Valley. Alright, we'll ignore those taxi lights right in front of us and go right, test my brakes. They work. As we continue turning, the turn and slip is turning, directional is turning, attitude indicator is level, and we'll glance up at the compass in a minute when we make our next turn and make sure that it's turning. This is Rex AccuSeason giving us the fall colors. This is one of the best things about Rex AccuSeason is when you get into the fall and the winter. Alright, we'll do our run-up. Parking brake is set. Flight controls are free and correct. Bring the mixture up to full rich. Bring the throttle up to 1700 RPM. We'll do our mag check. Mag left. Good drop. Back to both. Mag right. Good drop. Back to both. Carbeat on. We got a good drop. Penn Valley traffic, Piper 2432 Golf, departing runway 17. We'll be departing from the left downwind, climbing to 3,500 Penn Valley. Alright, game on. So this is my second check ride reschedule. My first one got canceled 1 hour before I was supposed to meet the DPE due to a plane problem, and there was no backup plane. So that was last week. We rescheduled to this week. I've been watching the weather all week, and it consistently looked like it was going to be gusting over 20 knots, which, especially with a crosswind, is a problem. You can see how squirrely the takeoff is just right here in the sim at Penn Valley. We're getting pushed all over the place, and the wind isn't even that strong in the sim. So for my check ride, I am rescheduled again for next Sunday. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. I do have my plane of choice, so fingers crossed. Alright, got the Susquehanna River here. We're about to turn crosswind. Penn Valley traffic, Piper 2432 Golf, turning left crosswind, runway 17, Penn Valley. So we're going to fly a normal pattern, but keep on climbing up to 3,500. Penn Valley traffic, Piper 32 Golf, left downwind, runway 17, Penn Valley. Harrisburg approach, Piper 2432 Golf is type PA38 slant alpha, just off Sierra Echo Golf at 2,300. We'd like flight following destination Cherry Ridge, November 30 at 3,500.
For 2432 Golf, Harrisburg approach, squawk 3753 and ident.
3753 and ident, Piper 2432 Golf. Alright, let's dial the code in here. 3753, hit the ident button.
Harrisburg approach, Skyhawk 2906, Lima would like to cancel flight following.
Piper 32 Golf, radar contact.
Alright, I've got the 2 instead of the from dialed in here. Let's fix that. And then we're going to turn left and intercept the needle for our VOR navigation. Amanda, good morning. Would you take over radio comms for the remainder of the flight?
Afternoon, Captain. I'll take over comms for the remainder of the flight.
Thanks very much, Amanda. Amanda is an AI Copilot provided by Say Intentions.
You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything else related to comms or briefings.
Fuel pump off, landing light off.
Piper 32 Golf, contact New York Center on 124.9er.
Contacting New York Center on 124.9er, Piper 2432 Golf. New York Center, Piper 2432 Golf, afternoon, maintaining 3500 feet.
Piper 2432 Golf, New York Center, good afternoon, Danville. Altimeter 30.00.
FedEx 516, New York Center, good afternoon.
Decreasing speed to get us below VNO since we're in turbulent air. If we stay at this speed, we could actually damage the control surfaces from gusts.
Jet 02 Papa, good jet, 3,500 feet climbing, flight level 26.
02 Papa, contact Elmira approach on 128.425. Squawking 7654, November 556, Bravo, Quebec.
603 Papa Lima, turn right heading 090.
New York Center, Piper 60 Juliet Mike with you, flight level 260. New York Center on 128.575.
Contact Wilkes-Barre approach on 120.905.
Altimeter 3001. Arriving and departing
Point
runways
905.
4.
Piper 2432 Golf.
Visual
For
contact
2432 Golf.
Golf.
Good afternoon, maintaining 3,000 feet.
Wilkes-Barre approach. Good afternoon, Lehman. Altimeter 29.907.
Papa Golf Wilkes-Barre approach, radar contact.
Contacting center on 133.5, good day, UPS 901, heavy.
Wilkes-Barre approach, roger, altimeter 29904. Stingray November 239 Alpha, Zulu Wilkes-Barre approach, contact tower 120.1.
Change to advisory frequency approved. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach to 3. 134.45 citation number.
Piper 2432 Golf. Wilkes-Barre approach. Cherry Ridge Airport at your 1 o'clock, 14 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR. Take care.
Frequency change approved, Squawk VFR. Thanks for the help, Piper 32 Golf. Alright, we'll power back, get carbide on, and start our descent for the field. Alright, I don't have the field in sight yet, but let's keep our eyes peeled. It should be off to the... Whoa! RPMs are flatlining. Throttle is not responding. We lost our engine. Alright, pitch for best glide. Find a field. There's a big open field just off to our left here. That's going to be our landing spot. Let's get ourselves to 65 here. As we're gliding, try to troubleshoot, do a restart, left fuel tank, crank it over. And it restarted. Alright. We must have run out of fuel on our right fuel tank. Level ourselves back out, get all that pitch trim sorted out. Let's try to figure out what happened. Field's just over there if we need it. Checking the gauges and oh yeah, we ran out of fuel in our right fuel tank. And oh geez, we've got about 5 gallons left in our left fuel tank. Ugh, well that sucks. I set it for full fuel beforehand. We'll figure out why that is once we get on the ground. But 5 gallons is about 45 minutes probably, so we're gonna head for the field since we're about 4 miles away. Checking the windsock. Windsock's pointing to runway 18, so we'll maneuver for a left downwind for runway 18. Cherry Ridge traffic, Piper 2432 Golf, left downwind, runway 18. For beam our touchdown point, put in the first notch of flaps. Cherry Ridge traffic, 32 Golf, turning left base, runway 18, full stop, Cherry Ridge. It's pretty windy, so we're not going to land with full flaps. There's the runway. Cherry Ridge traffic, Piper 32 Golf, final runway 18, Cherry Ridge. This is going to be a little bit of a spicy landing, and I don't think we have enough gas for a go-around, so we've just got to make this one work. Wind is blowing from my right-hand side here, so we're going to bring the right-hand wing down for a crosswind landing. A little bit of a bounce off that right main, and we're down. Phew! Nothing like landing on gas fumes. Alright, we'll taxi up here, get it shut down, and start the debrief. So I figured out what happened. This plane has state saving, so even though I set a full tank of gas in the sim, when I launched it, it reverted back to the last save state, which was only 10 gallons total for the flight, which was a little bit more than an hour of flight time, which was the duration of the flight. So check those gas gauges, measure the gas, check them again, which I didn't do in this flight, and it bit me. So I hope you enjoy realistic general aviation content like this. If you do, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.